Hello friends, today I'm doing a project with this little wagon. I think I got it from my sister. She may have got it from my mother. Well, my mother's passed now, but we were always trading things. I can remember a garage sale once that we had a purse in it to sell. And first, I don't remember, I think it was mine. And then I gave it to my mom. Then she gave it to my sister. And when the person bought the purse, as they were going down the driveway, we said, "Oh, that's kind of sad," because the purse had been like a part of the family by then. But anyway, it's this little wagon. It has no wheels on it, but it happens to luckily have a little hole there so I can hang from that. But I thought, what do you do with it? And my husband absolutely hates the way I measure. I'll say like 1.5 and a little bit more. Well, he didn't marry me for my math, that's for sure. But I just got a piece of paper and I cut it out the width of this little wagon here. And then I got a piece of board that I had. I'll show you one of the boards. I have several pieces of boards like this, like fence tops or something. I can't really remember for sure. But I just got it and I took my little piece of paper and put on it to make 3 shelves. I didn't quite have enough room for the third, so I thought, well, it'll be a little bit smaller. But then I had to move it down because it was coming over here. And, well, you just should have seen my husband when I took it out there. And I said, I would like you to cut this here and here and here. And he said, he worries about it not being perfect. He was looking up how to definitely divide it 3 ways. I said, no, just cut it like that. I want it to look rustic, and I'll just put the shorter one on the top. No big deal. Well, he finally would. But here are my shelves, and this one's the thinnest, so it's going to be on the top. I will try to make it level. So I've got my level here. I know I'm doing this wrong too. I do know how to read a level, I think. Okay, this is level. I'm going to put a little bit of my hot glue on it and then my E6000 on it to keep it in place. Okay, I'm not going to stain them. I'm going to leave them natural. I went through all kinds of craziness. I tried to mix up some of my antiquing stain, wax, whatever, with some water. And I spilled some on my rug. Got it all over my hands. I tried doing with gray and water to make it look like weathered wood. Not good. I've tried like 3 different things. And so you know what? They're going to be their regular color, which is fine with me. Glue gun is warmed up, and I've got my E6000. Hopefully it'll come out. You'd think they would come up with a way for the E6000 to be a little bit easier. E doesn't stand for easy, that's for sure. I went to Sally's Beauty Supply and bought one of those things that you can curl up the container. And I lost it when I straightened up out here. So I'm kind of stuck. I can't believe it. It's almost level. Okay, and the second shelf. So is everybody getting ready for their trick-or-treaters? We get 0 where we live. except for our grandkids. Once they moved out here, they would come. But as for our own kids, if they wanted to go trick-or-treating, we had to drive 12 miles into town for them to do so. But it was a safe town anyway. Everything was good. Like I said before, I'm not really big into Halloween. Okay, we have one more shelf. I remember when I was a kid, well, when I was in junior high, my mom and I lived in an apartment, and we would get so many trick-or-treaters. And I didn't really care about going trick-or-treating. Believe it or not, I didn't go in for candy that much. But I'd stay home. I thought it was fun to give it out. And I remember Mom buying tons and tons of little sacks to put candy in. And she didn't make a lot of money being a single mom, but she wanted to do it. And I would stay home and give out candy rather than go trick-or-treating. Kind of made me feel more mature, I guess. But this year, we're going to be handing out candy at my sister's home because she's going to be away. And I told her that we would go hand out candy because this is her first Halloween in this neighborhood. And unbeknownst to me, they really go all out for Halloween in her new neighborhood. Okay, I got my shelves in, and I've got a bunch of Christmas miniature pieces that I plan on putting on here and anything else. And I just thought it'd be cute. Anyway, I'm hoping that my grandsons, maybe my younger granddaughter, will help hand out candy at my sister's because her new neighbors have told her they get like over 1,000 trick-or-treaters. And, you know, you hate to not participate, but she's going to be gone. And we're going to step in and take over for her. I'll let you know how this comes out. We'll go find some stuff and put on it. I don't know if you can tell or not out the window behind me, but it's starting to get a little dark, and I think I better head in because usually this time of year the snakes are going back to their dens and they're not a problem. But the other night we came home after dark, and when we pulled into our carport and got out, luckily our headlights stay on like most cars do for a little bit, and I glanced down between me and the door to go into the house, and there was a copperhead. So we grabbed our dog, got her out of the way before she saw it or smelled it, and my husband was going to get a hoe or a shovel. Of course, we didn't have either one handy like we usually do. I don't know where they were, but he found a heavy rod pole and was able to kill it. And don't give me grief for killing a snake. I would never kill a rat snake or bull snake or grass snake. But these snakes, we take them pretty seriously around here. My father-in-law once got bit by one on his finger. He lost the finger. And from that point on, it seemed to me like his health seemed to deteriorate. And I don't know if it was the venom or what, but when you look back on the timeline, it pretty much seems that's when his health began to decline. So when we see a copperhead, we're going to kill it. And I'm sorry. But I'm going to put a little clip in here of the snake. This made like 18 or 19 we've killed this year. Some at my son's place, which adjoins ours, and our place. He killed most of them. But like I said one time before, 1 year and 3 days, we killed 23. Well, this time it was over several days, but we killed 18 or 19. I'd have to ask him to be sure. So anyway, long story long, I'm going to go back to the house because it is getting rather dark, and evidently they're still out. Maybe they don't know it's time to go to their dens, so I don't want to give them any chance to bite me. So I will continue the wagon project tomorrow. Turn the light off of him. You're right there. Just a quick update. When I did my porch fall decor, I mentioned how much I would like to have a rug for here. I ended up getting, I think it's 5x7. I got it on Amazon, and I really like it. It serves a purpose, and those wrinkles will eventually come out. Just wanted to share that. I have that part done of my wagon, and my shelves seem sturdy. And I've got Christmas miniatures that I'm going to put on here. So I think I'll gather some of those out and show you what I have in mind. I know this video is just kind of all over the place, but if I don't do something when I'm thinking about it, I don't know about you, but I forget about it completely. And I was just thinking, I don't decorate a lot for Halloween. I'm just not a big fan. And but you know, just a little touch here and there just to remind us that it is Halloween. For my grandkids, that's okay. I remember when I was a kid, about the only Halloween decorations I can remember, and I still have it, it's inside in my linen closet, is a cardboard cutout, die cut or whatever you call it, of cardboard skeleton. And I can remember my mom hung that up. The only other thing I can remember was this. And I don't know how old it is. I know we had it when I was a kid, but it's from Ambassador Cards. And my mom, it just looks like something she would love, her fall colors. Well, I thought about this frame I have. I'm sticking it in there, like so. Then I'm going to put the back on, and there I have it. Just a nod to my childhood memory and the Halloween piece, one of two I can remember that my mom had. Back to this project, I have some miniatures in here that I've had for a long time. The little wagons, a little buggy, baby buggy, and tricycles, and tiny little bottle brush trees, things like that. And the sled. But my problem is you can't see it because they're all red. So I'm thinking, do I paint the items a different color, or do I paint the inside? I had thought in the beginning what I was going to do was tape off the very edge and then spray paint the rest white, and then pull off the painter's tape, and it'd have the red edge, and it would look like a regular porcelain pan. The only thing is, then it wouldn't look like a wagon, which was kind of my purpose to begin with. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I might could even find some paper. That may be what I'll do. I'll find some old Christmas paper I have that has a lighter background and put in there temporarily and see what we come up with. I got out the bin that has my Christmas bags in it for gifts, and I knew at the very bottom I had some old wrapping paper. At the very least, they were when my kids were little, so that would have been about 40 years ago. But I'm thinking some I had before I had kids. But I've got this. I think this one's not as old, but I could be wrong. And then this. And this. I know I've had this a long time. Now I just have to decide which would match well and bring out the items that I'm trying to enhance a little bit. There's something I've heard about. If it has lines on the back, the cutting lines, that's a sign it's not old or it is old. I don't remember. You can, maybe in the comments you can tell me if you know if the cutting lines, plus this says gift wrap is 100% recyclable. Well, I knew that because I recycle everything. But, you know, that one has lines. This one does not. So I don't know if that tells me one's older or not. This one does not. And this one does. Very faint ones. When I wrap, I tend to save every little snippet in case I have a small gift or something like that. Now, another option I have, this is not old paper, but it's made to kind of look like old paper. And I just realized it does have the lines. So maybe those that don't have the lines are older. Or maybe it's something about the brand. I don't know. Please tell me if you do know. Now this is, to, like I said, to look old. And I think it really would look good. So I may try it. And I have more of it if I happen to mess it up. So I think I'm going to start cutting on this and sticking it behind temporarily and see what we get. I found my glue tape I forgot I had. So I'm using that. This should be easy to remove if I decide I don't want these one day. I'm hoping I love it, but you never know. One more. And it just so happened, I wasn't even paying attention, but my last snowman turned out to be in the middle. And there I have my shelves. In the background, I think my items will show up better. See, my taller ones are here. And I don't know if this would look better this direction or this direction. See if I have room to do it this way. Put the tree there. Let's see how I want to do all this before I start tacking it in. I'm going to put just a little drop of hot glue in places. For one thing, these trees may not stay. About the only thing I'm not real sure about is the sled. Even though it's kind of a cute idea, I'm going to hold off on it. Put just a drop of glue here. And the trees seem to be the ones that fall off the easiest. So I will glue them. And let's see. I think the rest of it sits pretty well. I think I'm going to take the buggy out. The buggy's not really that Christmassy per se, but the sled is. So I think I'm going to put it in. And here's the finished product. Everybody won't have the little broken wagon that I just happen to have, but you could do it with anything. If you see some kind of a pan at a thrift store or anything, this was so easy to do, and I think it turned out really cute. You can tell me what you think in the comments. That just about concludes today. I hope you enjoyed it at our home at Young's Crossing, and I hope you'll come back. I also hope you'll give it a thumbs up, comment, share, something. And if you're not a subscriber, I wish you'd consider doing so. It's totally free and it helps get my content out. And I hope you enjoyed it and that you'll come back. Thank you so much. Come back to our home at Young's Crossing soon. Bye.